Hello, my name is Catherine, and welcome to another episode of What's Next in Marketing 2025 interview series. In today's episode, we will discuss how programmatic advertising is shaping the future of marketing in the Asia-Pacific region. Today's guest is one of the awardees at the recently held Marketing Technology Awards 2024. She and her team won the Silver Award for Best Use of Ad Tech Platform and the Gold Awards for Tech Customer Success Team of the Year and Tech Commercial Team of the Year. Please welcome Joyce, Seah, Head of Client Success for APAC at Quantcast. Welcome to the show, Joyce. I would like to start by congratulating you on your wins at the MTA 2024, and thank you for being with us today. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. Thank you for the very kind introduction, Kathleen. Great to be here.
Wonderful. So we are seeing rapid advancements in technology and a shift towards data-driven decision-making as we continue in the year. How do you see the integration of AI and machine learning impacting programmatic advertising strategies in APAC over the next few years?
Yeah, great question. I think that's the question on top of everybody's mind right now. Everyone is talking about AI. It's no longer a buzzword. It's a reality of our today's execution and activation. I think there are three main ways I see AI really impacting our industry. This first one, I think it's very obvious. It's hyper-personalization. I think it's something that a lot of advertisers have been trying to achieve over the last years, but I think it's becoming much more of a reality these days, right? So AI and machine learning will enable our advertisers to deliver highly tailored messages to individuals. And this is also something that individuals have come to expect. We will be able to better leverage real-time data to predict user preferences because we know users change their preferences ever so often and do this with greater accuracy. So definitely with AI, we're going to be able to drive more relevant and engaging experiences across a very diverse group of APAC markets.
Right. There's a lot of possibilities that tech and AI is opening right now for all marketers and all of the industries, right?
That's right. I think outside of advertising space, internally, when we look towards our teams as well, with AI and machine learning becoming more and more prevalent, I think we are better able to optimize media strategies and in doing so, improve job satisfaction across our media planners and media strategy folks, right? So I think with AI and machine learning, we're able to free up a lot of these people's time to do actual creative and strategic work because we're going to be able to remove a lot of the manual lever pulling.
Yes, something only the humans can do and not anything that AI can replace. Now, Joyce, I know that you've been a leader in different markets such as Sydney for the past 15 years with your expertise in ad tech and programmatic and social media. So I know this is the right question to ask you. And how do regional cultural differences within APAC impact the development and execution of programmatic advertising campaigns? What can brands do to navigate this?
That's a really good question because I think APAC is a really diverse group of markets. It's not like we call it a region, and it is a region, but I think there's very varied consumer behaviors and preferences. So there's a lot of very diverse cultures with very distinct purchase behaviors, a lot of language nuances, and a lot of content preferences, right? So for example, I think visual storytelling resonates very strongly in Southeast Asia, where as well as Australia, actually, really. And while direct messaging may be more effective in markets like Japan and South Korea. When working in APAC in the region, brands should consider localizing creatives and messaging to align with the regional preferences for greater advertising impact. I think with that, brands also have to realize that there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to APAC because of like I mentioned a bit earlier, language and cultural differences. So I think for brands to come in and try to have a one creative strategy across the multiple markets, I don't think that's going to work quite as well as they hope. They will need to take a tailored approach, which also then maybe will require them to consider exploring and adopting technologies that can help them unify their marketing as well as measurement efforts, including programmatic.
Thank you for that, Joyce. So as you mentioned also earlier, it's a different market, even in one region. But the rise of the digital economy is, of course, regional and Asia-Pacific. And it's driving advancements in programmatic advertising. So what unique factors position APAC as a global leader in programmatic advertising innovation? And how do you see these influencing the global advertising landscape in 2025?
Great question. I'm very excited to be part of the APAC region because I do believe in exactly what you say. We are a global leader in programmatic advertising. I think the first thing that leads this is our high mobile penetration, right? So in APAC, especially in Southeast Asia, high mobile penetration, preference for mobile first in internet usage really is the driver of innovations behind mobile advertising technologies in our region. And because of that, we are setting trends that influence mobile ad strategies globally. The super apps that we see are great examples of showcasing the APAC innovation that is starting to really proliferate to the other markets, such as Grab and Gojek. I think these are really good examples for our region. I think the other thing is the diverse demographic and cultural landscape of APAC. I think APAC is such an interesting region, and because we've got that diversity, it necessitates, the development of hyper-targeted and localized content. It's something that we need to bring to market if we want to be effective, right? So this exercise also enhances a lot of global advertisers' ability to create more personalized campaigns that resonate with the different consumer segments. I think finally, one thing that I'm also really personally excited about is the emergence of retail media networks. So I think it's part of our daily life. Live commerce, being across retail media networks and being part of our ecosystem now, we realize it's one and the same. Consumers are more and more mobile, as we know in this region. So some examples of retail media networks would be Lazada, NTUC, and they are just booming in this region. So APAC is a really good testing ground for developing best practices that can be taken to other markets.
I'm curious about retail media networks because I have heard it from different brands here and there. So anything for 2025 to look for, specifically trends in retail media network that you see?
I think retail media networks are still nascent in their adoption of programmatic. So I think in 2025, because of clients, advertisers' demand for measurement to be able to connect the dots between branding through to performance, which also includes purchase data, I think retail media networks will come a lot more to the table to be part of the programmatic ecosystem.
One more curious question, if you're all right with it, Joyce. What is programmatic advertising trying to solve for retail media networks, and how will it move it forward and make it more mainstream?
Great question. I don't think we are trying to solve for retail media networks. We're trying to solve for advertisers who are trying to connect the dots with their consumers. A lot of advertisers, till today, even though programmatic has been for quite a while, we struggle with fragmentation. We struggle with measurement, and programmatic is able to connect the dots across the board. And I think that's what we're trying to do, is bring retail media network into this loop so that a lot of advertisers are able to then say from exposure through to purchase, how does that flow look like, and where do consumers actually spend most of their time?
Right. Okay. Thank you for satisfying my curiosity, Joyce. With APAC's diverse markets and rapid digital adoption, what emerging opportunities do you foresee for programmatic advertising?
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think it really goes back to audience segmentation with AI. That has been a topic of interest with a lot of global as well as regional and local advertisers. So you've got local champions who are really keen on also taking part in being able to personalize as much as they can towards their consumers, right? So I think by leveraging AI and machine learning, it's going to help our advertisers in the region uncover deeper insights into our very diverse cultural background, which also then includes very diverse consumer behaviors, and therefore be able to generate and develop hyper-targeted campaigns that will resonate across APAC, because APAC is that diverse landscape.
All right, this brings us to our last question, which is another additional question from me, which is what's next for Quantcast in 2025? Anything that you can share with us today?
I think the USP of Quantcast has been something that we talk about very proudly, which is our performance, right? So we do very well there, and we have very strong partnerships with a lot of key advertisers because of the performance we drive for them. But performance isn't a standalone deliverable. It's performance through measurement and being able to connect the dots and be able to bring value back to clients as cookieless is still happening. So I think one of the things we're most excited about in 2025 is how we're going to continue being able to bring that first-party data value to our advertisers so that the efforts that they spend on programmatic is going to be targeted, it's going to be effective at scale. So we're really excited for that in 2025.
Wonderful, Joyce. Great to hear. And we are so excited to see what Quantcast will bring again, of course, to the future of programmatic advertising and to the marketing ecosystem or advertising ecosystem as a whole. So thank you once again for taking the time to be with us today, Joyce. Your insights and expertise is truly remarkable, and definitely we have learned a lot from you.
Thank you for having me, Kathleen. It's been a pleasure.
And that was Joyce, Seah, Head of Client Success for APAC at Quantcast. The conversation around the future of marketing does not end there. We are learning so much from various industry leaders in this series. Discover more and join me again for another episode of What's Next in Marketing 2025 interview series very soon. I'm Catherine, and let's keep learning every day.